Hello, everyone. I'm Christina, and today we're taking it outside again. I'll tell you, this has been one of the weirdest weather days. I don't know whether to put on shorts or a sweater. It's cloudy up there, but it's just this need for sunglasses. If I could find them, I'd put them on. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you, thank you. Welcome for all of you that are here and all of you that are coming on after. And I always want to encourage you to hit the thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and share the videos. There's probably going to be a little bit of noise here and there, like right now. Can I help you?
Looking at that board.
Oh, good, good. Can I talk a little bit later? I'm live.
All right.
Okay. Bye, y'all. Hey, hello, Misty Cat. Hello, everybody. Told you, neighborhood, around here don't take long. People start coming around. That's cool, though. All right, so today we're talking about how hard these labor pains are really getting and probably how much more intense they're looking to get. Is it something that we can really gauge? Hold on just 1 second. I'm just gonna shut this baby girl. Ugh. Anyway. All right, so a lot of distractions. I probably should have done that ahead of everything, right? But we've got a lot going on, don't we? Okay, and first thing I want to go ahead and talk about was that, I've been rethinking this encouragement thing, right? How I could be more encouraging. The thing is, I'm just not that good at it, but that doesn't mean I can't try, right? So I'll give y'all a little bit of that in just a little bit because it's really great. It's a testimonial. You're going to love it. Hello, Ray J. Oh, I'm glad you caught it too. Wonderful. Okay, so we see that there's a lot going on between Russia, the Ukraine, and China and Taiwan, and everybody's just got this feeling like they're just wetting their whistle before they head on over here because there's a lot of tension between Biden and Russia right now, as it is, which is not a good thing for us. And in the meantime, we have a lot of civil unrest happening in America, which, civil unrest was prophesied, all right? And so you can see that it's happening because the love of people are cold. This is why lawlessness is abounding. It's Matthew 24:12. Lawlessness abounds and people wax cold. It's because they don't have God. They might even hate him. Okay, so they're being influenced by a demonic force, and they may not even realize it because they might be telling themselves that they're doing it for good. Some of them might be doing it for all different kinds of reasons, but lawlessness is abounding. All right. Hello, Paula Hoskins. So that would be part of the pain that we're feeling. There is a question as to whether America's supply of foreign oil and gas could be cut off, especially since they're trying to do away with our own gas production here in the United States. Their plan is to buy foreign oil. But see, that could be a problem really, really soon, especially if they decide not to sell it to us, which could actually happen. Yes, I agree with you, Misty. We're going to show that. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay. So we could be seeing a real economic dip just because of the oil and gas being, what's the word I'm looking for? Threatened, really. And when it comes to the last days, we're going to have economic woes. It's going to get worse. And that, famine is often a sign of that. My biker neighbor's home, y'all. He won't tell anybody, but he likes to sit out here and listen to me when I talk. Hello, AA Strumming. So good to see you too. Nice engine there, huh? Oh yeah. Okay. We'll wait just a second for that engine to turn off, and we'll get right back on topic. There we are. Good deal. Good deal. So when you're looking at economic woes, when you're looking at famine, and we are, because Biden has decided to cancel the pandemic food aid. And like with the border, he has an ideal of what he thinks would be utopian society, but he has no real plan, or his actual plan is to destroy this country from the ground up. Either way, he feels like canceling the pandemic food aid, which was helping getting the food from the farmers to the people that need it the most. He's just going to do away with that, okay, which is going to hit food banks, which is going to hit a lot of Americans that half of us are still out of work. Am I correct? Right? So there we go. We're looking at the horsemen just doing their thing right now. We're also seeing the asteroids starting to come in. What Florida had one sweeping by recently. So, like the Bible talked about the stars falling from the sky, fire coming from heaven, things like that. We knew, Revelation 12 didn't say, I think it was Revelation 12 or 13. It said the devil flung a third part of the stars to the earth. I think it was Revelation 12. So we're seeing a lot of the things that we knew would happen in prophecy. And when we talk about Ukraine and Russia, the biggest thing that comes to mind is the first horseman of the apocalypse, because he was the one that was going to go forth conquering and to conquer. Now, do I think Putin is the first horseman? No, because I believe that the horsemen are spirits that anybody can be influenced by all over the world. Okay. And right now, China and Russia are at the top of that list as far as people that are interested in conquering. And that's a big sign, because just like when the second temple was destroyed during Jeremiah's days, he kept trying to warn the people, if you don't repent, if you don't hearken unto God, if you don't change your ways, then God is going to allow the enemy to come in and trample you underfoot. And things are going to be really bad. The things that are going to happen, they aren't pretty, and they weren't. And so that is what we may be facing also, is that all those visions that people have been having are on the verge of coming true. Okay. 1970s, we knew that we would be going through a very messy situation in 2020 with a lot of meteors and asteroids. Now that's interesting, Billy. That really is. I'm gonna leave y'all to that conversation. Okay, so again, and with the four horsemen, again, I don't think that one of them rides and then stops, and another one rides and stops. Once one of them started riding, then the other one came out, then the other one, then the other one. They're still riding. So again, you're going to keep seeing traces of all four dotted all around for a span of time. Okay, so with the cancellation of the pandemic food aid, the president doesn't have a plan for that food. That means that a lot of food can actually be thrown out unless the people figure out a way to do something about that. We might be in a lot of trouble, because even I depend on the food truck that comes here once a month. Now we can talk about the earthquakes, which was also in Matthew. It was one of the things that Jesus was talking about. Okay. And the earthquakes have gotten very, very, very interesting to me in Texas and Louisiana, especially. I really have noticed that you put it on all magnitudes for the month, it's like 400 earthquakes. We had a pretty big one near San Antonio. We had another one, I think, in North Texas, and a second earthquake around Louisiana, right where it was last time, like a month ago. So you can see that the pressure is really building. So there's going to be earthquakes, famines, pestilence, right? Love of many growing cold, lawlessness abound. We are literally in Matthew 24, which really seemed to give detail more about the four horsemen and what would be going on during the ride of those four horsemen. Okay, and then we get this unbelievable news today. I mean, still some days I just cannot believe the news that's going on. All right, while DC still talks about the insurrection back on January 6th on their sanctuary, Maxine Waters incites more mob violence, saying that protesters should be more confrontational. And that just lets you know who her spiritual father is. Okay, she's a very bitter, angry woman. And I get the feeling that her anger is so deep that it cannot ever be quenched, honestly. So within hours, whether she was responsible for this or not, it sure looks like it. What we can't say now that her words didn't have anything to do with it was that National Guardsmen were fired upon within hours. Okay. Jen Psaki's response from the White House, well, they want to ensure that there is space for peaceful protesting. Okay. So basically what they're saying is you can tear up the whole country if you want, just as long as you leave DC alone. Okay. Rules for me and rules for thee. Okay. You can see who they're really looking out for. But when it comes to where are we in prophecy, it's pretty obvious that we're at the Horsemen. But when it comes to the possibility of Russia invading, there's a couple of things that I had to really go back and look at. And one of them, there should be a major disaster happen in America, on American soil. I believe, I always have since I had that vision of the Texas and Gulf of Mexico disaster, that some kind of major natural disaster is going to happen on the Gulf Coast before an invasion on this soil. But also there's one other thing that is super important we cannot forget that the Bible talks about, and it says when peace and safety is declared. And God was talking about the division would happen if Jerusalem and Israel were divided. And, with all this news going on, I really hadn't heard anything. But when I started checking around, guess what? Well, it turned out there is something going on. And it brought to mind, okay, Trump had his own thing going on with Israel and the Middle East, all right? But you got to remember, Biden was once upon a time part of Obama's clique. Okay. So whatever ideas that they had at the time, Biden is carrying over now, which is to divide Israel and Jerusalem. Okay. We're going to take a look at an article that's actually titled, it came out 6 days ago, Biden just threw Israeli-Palestinian peace under the bus. Okay. That's the name of the article. And another one 4 days ago by APnews.com, Trump-era spike in Israeli settlement growth has only begun. All right. But it says here that President Joe Biden's administration supports the two-state solution. Okay. That's right off the bat. He's going to, like his norm, he's going to throw away everything that Trump had worked on, no matter what it was, good or bad. He's throwing it all out, and he's going to go with this one frame of mind that it just needs to be divided for there to be peace. He believes in a Palestinian state. He believes that the same with Palestinians in Israel, the same as he believes with that. I guess maybe that anybody can pretty much go where they want. They're probably that's what's looking like, that if you want to settle there, then you do it, regardless of the safety of the people and other factors that may be involved. But that's what's going to happen. That's what we really need to be looking for, is underneath all of this news that we're having about this and that, and this trial and what Maxine Waters is doing. We always need to remember to keep our eyes on Israel. And it's sort of taken a back seat. Now, at the beginning, you would think that Biden didn't want to have anything to do with this. But it turns out something is up, okay? Especially if he's throwing Israel under the bus like that. Two-state solution. And the Palestinians want the east side of Jerusalem. And Biden and Abbas, I believe that's his name, Abbas, or is it Hamas? I believe it's Abbas. They already have a very strong connection. Abbas didn't want to talk to Trump, but he will talk to Biden. Borders and everything already. So far is that whatever they start talking about, they start pushing through. Putin told us that he has weapons that could launch off the west coast of America. And yeah, that's right. 200. Yes. And, they've had submarines going in and out of the Gulf of Mexico for years. They even know how to hide underneath ships, and so that they're somewhat undetectable. They're practicing. And then you look at what they're saying, that our military is being underfunded at the same time. It's like Biden is saying, come and get us. Come on. Just come on. And we don't have any borders. We don't care. In fact, we're going to get on your nerves until you do. Okay, I always wondered what it would be that would finally trigger Putin to come over here. And what's going on with Crimea, the Ukraine, and Taiwan. I mean, it's pretty certain, they're not playing around right now. They are not. But for some reason, we've got people in office playing some pretty serious games with our lives. Kim Peters, how old is he now? How close do you think we are till the end? Ooh, well, it's supposed to speed up. I really do. But it just seems like there's also a process of time that's going on. How long do I think? Okay. I don't think that the Russian invasion is the start of World War III. I believe that it's just one of the wars that is a precursor before the tribulation starts. Everybody's got sort of a different opinion, but I'm very strong on this one. So we'd have to actually make it through that. And the temple would be built in troublesome time. There's a lot of talk about where that's built, if it's been built. But we do have the Mashiach that came, the false Mashiach. Okay. So I would guess, if I had to guess, which would mean nothing really, I would say we probably got a couple of years. That's what I would think. Just a very, very short amount of time. Because I know once they get that temple going, they can throw it up there. And all the parts for it are supposed to be in Israel. So imagine that's where they'd want to go ahead and put that. Viruses are microscopic. And speaking of viruses, right now, I don't even want to be in the Gulf of Mexico. Because it's not just about viruses. That place, they just put radioactive material in our water. So much for being able to go to the beach for summer. Don't risk it. I'm sure y'all will, but some of y'all, masks are good social conditioning. Okay. So there's one thing I have to bring up, because we've got a lot of things that are very upsetting. They even make you mad. And then God put it in my heart. He says, well, you still have to love your enemies. And that's really hard, isn't it? To love your enemies, to understand that when that Russian invasion comes in, that's actually going to be the hand of God. It's judgment on our country for abandoning him and all of the sins that have been committed. And he warned us. It's not something that we can do much about unless we repent. But we still have to find it in our hearts not to hate people that hurt us and to forgive them, because we've all been hurt in some way. And forgiveness, it doesn't always come easy. But we have to, because we can't get forgiveness if we don't know how to forgive, if we haven't given that. And so whatever is happening in our life, from here till the day God pulls your personal ticket for you to go home, we have to remember. We have to remember that we're not people that want to be full of hate, because it makes you sick. It's nothing that can ever be satisfied. It's just it's a horrible place to be, because I was there in my life. That unforgiveness ate me alive. It literally ate me alive. And that's going to be important. And so, but I think that this would be the perfect time to give y'all some encouragement, okay? Some real encouragement after all the bad news, all right? See, God's going to take care of us. He's given manna from heaven. Jesus multiplied fish and bread. And lately, it just feels like God's been sending me everything that I need in like this miraculous form. The shelf I tried to make for my food truck didn't come out so great. And so this friend of mine came up with the idea I could do like a wooden shelf that's more natural and like put it in epoxy. And I was like, where am I going to get a board like that? Well, it turned out that a friend of mine had this board since basically I bought the trailer, and he was going to make a shelf out of it. He just never did. And I'm like, and he goes, he's like, this shelf was waiting for you. And I want to show y'all what it looks like. Okay. Just hold on just a second. I'm just going to point y'all that direction for a minute. Okay. See, I'm wearing shorts and I didn't want y'all to see my blindingly white legs. Okay. But check this out. This is cedar, and it just came to my doorstep. See, God provides. He just provides. And this is a time to really get close to him, because as things get more scant, as things get harder and harder, there might be that day where you don't have food, but God can make it so that you aren't even hungry anyway. and that you don't thirst. That's kind of his gig, all right? That as hard as the enemy is working, God is always the trump on this. He knows what time we're in. He knows what we're facing. He knows all of it. And we have to learn to trust in him and his teachings, which means that we can't let bitterness in our heart. We can't go by our eyes. We can't go by sight. We have to go by faith that no matter what's going on in the world, that God really has us. Period. Okay? Because men will fail you. Men's own hearts will fail them, but God will not fail you. Okay? Let's check out the comments for a minute. No hate, no fear. God's got this. Awareness of truth keeps us close to God and each other. So see, that's my encouragement for y'all for today. I'm not, again, I told you I'm not very good at it. More of like, okay, this is what's going on. Here's a plan. Go. I've never really been good with emotions. People start crying and I just kind of, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm not very good at it. And crying wasn't really a thing in my family. We weren't even allowed to do that, to be honest with you. It was just not gonna be allowed or tolerated in any form ever. So that's my shortcoming, I suppose. And I'm trying to work on that. Thank you, AA. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that, Billy Joe, that your nephew's doing so good. That's perfect. That's perfect. I love the way she does smells. Okay. All right. So, I hope I didn't do anything wrong on that. I did something with, okay. Should have used the mouse, huh? So, we're just going to look and see if everything is okay. I do want y'all to keep an eye on Israel. I want you to also keep an eye on those earthquakes that are going on around Texas, Louisiana, any of them on the southern coastal state. Be really mindful. They are kind of hiding them. If you look at it like the 2.5 where they set it at, it looks like nothing is going on. But when you start exploring 7 days, all magnitudes, and in 30 days, you can see there's a serious problem that just wasn't there before. Okay, especially around San Antonio is starting to worry me quite a bit, to be honest with you. Anyway, I want to thank you all for being here, and I'm sorry I haven't been on as much as I could be. It's just I've been like really overwhelmed with things around here. Got laundry to do and grocery shopping to do later, but I love y'all. God bless you, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.